Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to try and review 3 frozen margarita pizzas. I should say 3 more frozen margarita pizzas. I recently reviewed 2, the DiGiorno and the California Pizza Kitchen. Brief recap: margarita pizza named after Italian Queen Margherita of Savoy. It features toppings: fresh basil, tomatoes, mozzarella cheese. If you want a more detailed description, look at part 1, if you will, of this 2-part series. The basil, tomato, cheese, green, red, white, the colors of the Italian flag. I will again review 3 more of these margarita pizzas, frozen margarita pizzas. The 5 total are just what I could find at my local supermarket. I didn't make any special trips or look for anything specific. I'm trying what is available locally. I believe these are all national brands. At the end, I'll again, of course, give the review of the 3 that I'm doing today, a little recap of the other 2, and then talk about which one or ones I would buy, I would recommend if I were in the market for a margarita pizza and I wanted to get a frozen one instead of making my own, which I do have a recipe in my videos if you're interested, or buying one from a pizzeria. So here we go. Alrighty, today I'm going to be trying the Table 87 coal-fired or coal oven pizza, I should say, margarita pizza. 9.6 ounce. And the entire pizza contains 740 calories. And it cost me $7.99. Secondly, the Dr. Oetker, I guess would be the pronunciation if it's a German name, Virtuoso Thin Crispy Crust Margherita or Mozzarella and Pesto, which is a margherita pizza. And this cost $5.79. Total pizza has 910 calories. Lastly, Newman's own authentic Italian stone-fired crust margherita pizza, 13.1 ounces. Incidentally, the Dr. Oetker's was 11.5 ounces. This is 13.1 ounce pizza. It cost $9.59. And if I can get a hold of it to turn it over, the entire pizza has 790 calories. I'll prepare each of these according to the package instructions, and I'll be back when they're done and ready to go. And here we are, fresh from the oven, the Table 87, the Dr. Oetker's, and the Newman's own. I will cut them, quarter them. Incidentally, the package considers the Table 87 a 2-serving pizza. Dr. Oetker's, I believe, also a 2-serving pizza, and Newman's own a 3-serving pizza. But I'm going to quarter them, take them to the table, and give them a try. And I'll be back. Alrighty, we're going to start with the Table 87 pizza. Probably the most appealing looking pizza. It's also the smallest. Okay, the tomato sauce is a little sweet. The crust has a nice flavor. Of course, the basil, I mentioned in my last video, At least for me, in my experience, basil doesn't refrigerate or freeze well, but this seems to have made it pretty nice because I can taste that, the sweetness of the tomatoes. Cheese is not overly salty, but it's still flavorful. I've often gotten Margherita pizza from a local pizza truck, which is pretty good pizza, and this reminds me of that. I never would guess if this were served to me that it's a frozen pizza. Okay, the Dr. Oetker tomato, mozzarella, and pesto, which is a basil pizza. Probably the least visually appealing, but we're going to give it a try. Alrighty, the crust is kind of crunchy, but not crispy, just crunchy. It breaks apart when I bite into it. It's heavily seasoned, a little on the salty side, not terribly. I can taste all the ingredients. The pesto has a little different flavor than just fresh basil leaves, but it's fairly tasty. The tomatoes are okay. Cheese is good. This, though, to me, it was the least expensive of the pizzas, and it tastes like a frozen pizza. If you don't mind the taste of frozen pizza, as opposed to the Table 87, which tasted to me like a fresh pizza, freshly made pizza. Okay, and lastly, Newman's Own. Okay, the crust has a good flavor. The cheese is good, maybe a little on the salty side. Basil has a good flavor. The crust, when I picked it up, I could feel a lot of times they'll put cornmeal on a pizza oven so the dough doesn't stick, and I can feel and see the cornmeal. Interesting. Must have been frozen right after baking. The only thing that makes this maybe less than great is the tomatoes. Well, I don't taste a lot of tomatoes, but the tomato sauce is not sweet. It's kind of, I wouldn't say sour, but it tastes like canned tomato sauce. It's not the greatest. Rather than using tomato chunks or fresh tomatoes. So, quick recap. The other two, the DiGiorno, which I believe was $6.99, and I gave it a rating of 6. It was a little bit above average. The tomatoes tasted kind of supermarket, but other than that, it had a good flavor, good spice. It was probably the largest of the pizzas. The California Pizza Kitchen had a really good fresh tomato taste. It was about, I got it on sale, but I think it was $9.80, if I recall. If you watch the other video, you can find out for sure. Had a really good fresh tomato taste. I gave that also a 6. The rest of it was kind of bland. As for these, the Table 87 is the smallest of the pizzas, I think, of all 5, but it is the best flavor and it has the most, the freshest pizza taste. I would actually give this about a 7 1/4, which for a frozen pizza in my book is a high rating. It's far above average, almost verging on an actual pizzeria pizza. Dr. Oetker's least expensive Tastes like a frozen pizza. I'm going to give it a 5. It's just an average frozen pizza. Newman's Own is a good flavor. It's more like a pizzeria pizza than the others, with the exception of the Table 87, which is very much like a pizzeria pizza. So I'm going to give Newman's Own 6 3/4. And now that is my review and comparison of frozen margarita pizzas. If I were looking to buy one, I would not buy the Dr. Oetker's. That would be my last choice. California Pizza Kitchen, maybe. My first choice would be the Table 87, despite the fact that it's a small pizza and fairly expensive. And the DiGiorno and the Newman's Own would probably be tied for second, with maybe Newman's having a slight edge. There is my review. Now I have a couple of pizzas, 3 pizzas to finish. So I'm going to have a little coffee. Incidentally, if you want to help support this channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/cynicalintrovert. Incidentally, those who have been following my channel, the dog bite is getting a little better. I do have numbness and nerve pain, which they say may or may not go away in a couple months, but I can pick up a cup at least. I can't play the saxophone again yet, but we'll see. Anyway, buymeacoffee.com/cynicalintrovert. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. What do you think? Have you tried any of these? Again, I only tried margarita pizzas. Maybe in the future I'll try other toppings. Thank you for watching, and come again.